Hello, welcome once again to an amazing episode here at Kaluhi'S kitchen. As always, it is an eternal thrill to have you guys join me for yet another fantastic episode. And for today, we're going to add something onto our breakfast playlist. And for today, we're going to make some amazing raisin scones. And I know you guys are really going to enjoy this one. To my returning subbies, thank you so much for always joining me. Your loyalty is much appreciated. And to my new watchers, I hope after this episode, I earn your subscription. That's it, guys. Let's get into it and let's make some amazing, super spongy breakfast scones. Karibuni. We are now ready to begin, and as always, we always separate the ingredients according to the stage at which they're going to be introduced into the recipe. But before we get into the recipe itself, guys, I apologize in advance. My neighbors are logging their trees, so there's a bit of noise in the background. Please forgive me, it's beyond my control, but please focus on my voice. Mtakuwa sawa. I know you need survivors. Anyway, so we're going to get right into the first stage of this recipe. So the first ingredients that we are going to combine are my warm water, my eggs, my warm milk, my butter, salt, sugar, and some yeast. The yeast is very important because it is the rising agent for this recipe. The water and the milk are warm because they need to activate the yeast, and they have to be warm. If they are cold, the yeast will not be activated. So for the first step, to our bowl, we're going to add our warm water, our eggs, milk, molten butter, salt, sugar, and our yeast. We're going to beat until just combined. This is now perfectly combined. It shouldn't take too long to combine these ingredients. Once the eggs are just combined, that's when you stop. And with that, we have 3 other ingredients left on our countertop, and that's our all-purpose flour, some raisins, and some food coloring. The scones we have in Kenya for breakfast usually have that particular yellow color to them. So for this recipe, I chose to also include that particular color, and to also elevate the flavor profile and to make them a little bit interesting, I chose to add some raisins. I love raisins for anything sweet and for anything that falls in the breakfast category. So for this recipe, I chose to add some as well. So for the next step, which is pretty simple, we're going to add in our raisins and our food coloring into our bowl that has our flour and give it a rough mix. We're then going to pour in our wet ingredients and give it another rough mix, and once just combined, we're going to proceed to knead for a couple of minutes. That was super simple to put together, and I'm really excited about this because the consistency of our dough is really soft. And for you trying this at home, always remember that for you to know when your dough is ready, it should be very soft and elastic, but not sticking to your hands. If it's still sticking, please knead for a few more minutes because it should not stick to your hands whatsoever. Let me repeat, once your dough is done, it should be nice and soft, but no longer sticking to your hands. Exactly as you can see mine is. Very soft, but not sticking to my hands. And with that, we are ready for the next step. So the next step is a simple waiting game. Because we have yeast in our dough, we need to allow our dough to rise and become nice and fluffy. And that will need for the dough to just sit and rest. Because of the kneading, the gluten is already activated, but now we need to have some air pockets in our dough so that our buns can be nice and spongy at the end. We're back now after 1 hour, and that was a really fast hour. As you can see, our dough has now doubled in size, and that is an indicator that our yeast has done its work and we are set to go into the next step. step. We're just now going to punch down our dough and release some of the air, and then we're going to divide it into 12 balls. Those 12 balls, we're going to place them into our baking pan. If you guys remember, this is the same tray we used for our carrot cake in 2019. You see, when you buy these things, you don't use them once, you use them forever. Anyway, so we're going to place our 12 balls onto our baking tray. It's 9 by 13 inches. Thereafter, we're going to give it yet another hour for the balls to expand and double in size. Thereafter, we're going to bake in our oven for about 20 minutes at 190 degrees Celsius. Make sure your oven is preheated before you begin baking, and thereafter we are done. So see you at the other side. And with that, guys, we have the most loveliest scones you will ever have. They are so spongy, so beautiful to look at, and I'm sure they're going to also taste amazing. That's it, guys. Let's give this a taste test. So spongy, so delicious, and I can't wait for you guys to try this out. Their texture is super soft, and I love how the sweetness of the raisins really elevates the eating experience. They are really simple, but they pair so well with everything else. Perfect for brunch, perfect for breakfast, perfect for a snack as you leave town, or for your kiddies as they go to school. Either way, they're sure going to enjoy this one. As always, don't forget the exact recipe quantities are on my blog, link on the description box. Once you try this out, please snap a pic and tag me on any social media platform. I would love to show you off, and I would love to see your masterpiece as well. For me, it's now time to go and have my breakfast. The remaining ones I'll have during the rest of the week, and for you guys, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Bye.